It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202.
It's the 202.
Welcome back to the 202. To say Kato Hammond is an avid go-go fan is an understatement. He's not only been a part of the DC-born music culture, but one of his biggest advocates.
Yes, and he was so passionate about go-go music that he built his own website back in 1996, and he named it after one of his favorite Rare Essence songs, Take Me Out to the Go-Go.
Thanks so
I
much,
had
man,
to do
for
it.
stopping
Yes,
by.
yes. Hey, you can't help but do it. You know what I'm saying?
Did she do a good job?
Yeah,
man?
she excellent. She always has been.
Thank you, Kato. Listen, what is go-go music for those that don't really understand it?
Well, go-go music is the music that was born here in Washington, D.C. Just like you have many areas to have music that's distinctly where they're from, whether you're in New Orleans or New York or Nashville. D.C. is the music that was homegrown here, which was founded by the late Chuck Brown. And it's music that was birthed by Chuck, but flourished by many, many bands over the years. And we're talking about birthed in the 70s, and it's been going on since the 70s. Strong as it has been when it first began, you know, and when you're talking in the city.
Now, you started out as a musician, so you've been in the mix from
Yeah.
early on.
Well, I started out as a fan.
Yeah.
My first time going to a go-go was at 14.
Wow.
At the age of 14, back in 1979.
Who snuck you in?
My brother, actually, it was my older brother. The club called the Club LeBaron, and so I started as a fan, and grew up playing in the bands, you know, and then I played with a couple of bands that were kind of big names in the area. One was a band called Lil Benny and the Masters, and another was a band called Proper Utensils. So, yeah, I grew up in it. You know,
Okay.
I'm embedded in it.
Okay. Now, some that have lived the go-go lifestyle and been around go-go music for a long time would say that go-go is a type of music that you have to experience, that it doesn't translate to radio.
You have to, it's definitely an experience, because go-go, the biggest thing about go-go, and you'll understand it once you go there, is that go-go is 50% the band that's on stage and 50% the crowd. For a successful go-go to be successful, both sides have to input to it. And I've always said that, for example, over the years, we have brought many people outside of the area in the music industry who come in here and they don't understand go-go. They hear it, they don't understand it. But once they go to one, they say, I get it. This is why this guy's talking so much. I never understood when I heard all I could hear is a guy talking. I didn't get it that he was really talking to people, you know. And I've always said that for go-go to successfully make it nationally, it would probably have to go on the road as an experience, like the Universal Circus, when you bring a whole experience, like in a big tent.
That's an
I don't know if you remember that
interesting-
Steve Martin movie, Leap of Faith, where they would build up the big tent, and then you would come and you would get that whole experience.
Okay. Yeah.
I've always said, you know, if they had the money, the funds to do something like that, people around the world would get the full understanding of it.
Now, in the meantime, what you're doing, you've got a website,
Yeah.
you've got a radio show,
Yeah.
you've got a book that Michelle and I have been looking through.
Yes.
Tell us what's in the book.
The book actually is basically an autobiography.
Okay.
My life story, and it breaks down by years. It begins with 1976, because even before go-go, live music was real prevalent in DC. It always has been, all the way back to Duke Ellington. It always have been. And so it was bound for that to happen. So the book basically walks you through my eyes, walks you through 1976 all the way up. I ended in 96 when, around 2000 when I started the magazine.
Okay.
So the book really, and through my eyes of playing with the bands at different places, the situations we had dealing with trying to get go-go on the radio over the years, and playing at places like the Capitol Center and the Washington Coliseum and stuff like that. So the book talks about all of that. Even during the time in the 80s when everybody thought there was a big light shining on it, where they were making this movie called Good to Go, which was going to be starring Art Garfunkel and it kind of was a big disappointment. This talks about all that, even the whole auditioning process when they were throwing auditions for that movie here in D.C., where it put a lot of people to work. The movie wasn't great, but especially a lot of kids from Duke Ellington School of the Arts was in it. And I went to Duke Ellington School of the Arts as well, so the book takes you through even those years through Duke Ellington, where a lot of musicians in go-go, believe it or not, came through that school as well.
I think you may be helping go-go to survive.
I would, I'd like to be. It's really, even when I started the website. When I started the website back in 1996, it was basically I wanted to learn how to build websites. You know what I'm saying? I was married, and I had to stop playing in the band, so building a website about go-go was my way to be able to keep in the know of what's going on. But it kind of grew into what it does in, the whole radio station that we created online, because the internet provided that platform. You know what I'm saying? I've always said, I built Team Out Go-Go, and a lot has helped it, but I was just the guy who turned the light on in the lighthouse, and everything else, grew from there.
Well, you're turning the light on now for go-go. We appreciate what you're doing for DC and for the culture.
Yep.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. Really.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that go-go.
There you go.
It don't mean a doggone thing.
What a great show today. Thanks to Teresa Hodge, Executive Chef Peter Prime, and Kato Hammond. Of course, my lovely co-host, Michelle Wright.
Thank you, and thanks to DJ Two-Tone Jones, and to all of you for watching us. Ferman and I are going to see you next time on the 202. And don't forget, check out episodes of the 202 on DC Radio, 96.3 HD4, and dcradio.gov.
This the 202. This is how we do when we party in the 202. Hey.
Home of that good live music.
Come on.
Live on set, live audience approves it. The best hosts that don't get no tighter. Ferman and Michelle can't get no brighter. Taxation, no representation.
Nah.
But the 202 repping for the capital nation. So from 703 to the 301. Yeah, we all come to have some fun. It's the 202.
It's the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202.
This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202.